All right, everybody. So give me just a minute to make sure this is. We're gonna get our audio through and everything. All right, everybody. Okay. All right. So we're just sitting here on Highway 12. This will be open in a few minutes. All right. So we're just sitting here on Highway 12. This will be open. So this will be open here within the next 1 to 30 minutes. We're gonna go retrieve our devices, I think. Yeah, I'm sitting here intentionally. Um, so we'll go get those two remaining devices from Buxton and maybe take a look at any progress that's been made. I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about last night. So yeah, last night we blew the road closed sign and went through anyway, and it was actually in decent shape compared to um, what it could have been. Let's put it that way. And I didn't say it last night because we've got so many cancel culture crybaby sissy pants in the chat. Some not in the chat, but that watch. And we blew the road closed signs, and we're like, you know what? We've got equipped vehicles to take care of this. We're just gonna go, and if we have to turn around, we turn around. And there was a cop sitting at the other side, and I pulled up to him, and I'm like, so you mad? And he's just like, no, people have been coming through all day. And I'm like, okay, so those last 5 cars that went through. And he made a comment, and he was like, yeah, and even the fire department said something about a Spectrum truck, but I'm not pulling over the fucking Spectrum truck. And I'm like, that's what I thought. So I just thought that was funny because I was making fun of that, and then somebody was telling me that I was ridiculous for making fun of that, but even the cop made fun of it. So um, that's basically what the entertainment value was last night when I had to shut the stream off just because I didn't want to deal with losers on the internet. But firsthand experience last night, it was rough and it was pretty bad, but at the same time, if you know how to drive, it wasn't. The problem that we had was we thought the road was not where the road was, but they kind of, I think they've just been doing some cleanup stuff. Is this guy seriously going to try to go around me on the right when there's a clear lane on the left? There's no way. This guy's like trying to pass me on the right, but he could literally go around on the left. Hold on a minute. What's this guy? Which direction are we pointed? Oh, the roof camera's froze up. I'll reboot the roof camera. Something's wrong with it. But this probably could have been opened, honestly, this morning, but it sounds like there were some technical issues. I guess they had some equipment breakdowns too, and they had to drag something out or move it, or I don't know. Just basically, I guess every inconvenience that could have happened, I guess happened because I've been talking to quite a few people out here. So I think just everything that could have been a pain in the ass just happened to be. So, but I mean, 24 hours, 24 to 28 hours later is not bad. But like I said, I mean, it was definitely passable last night. Not for cars, for trucks, yes. And I'm sure it has been all day. I mean, yeah, there was a high tide, but there's also a high tide all the time. You know, it was just a small tide. I think it was only like 1.98 feet or something. But we should be moving, like I said, within the next now to 25, 30 minutes or so. I think they've got some loaders and stuff they said they wanted to bring off of the bridge first. But we should be good to go here in a minute. So we'll go in and we'll get that equipment. It looks like we've got severe weather possibly coming up maybe on Saturday, maybe Friday as well. Thursday for sure. So probably going to be Thursday in like Nebraska, maybe western Iowa, and then like southern and southeastern South Dakota. I can't make that. Well, I mean, I can if I left very early tomorrow morning or tonight, but it's 22 hours out there, so I'm not going to be doing that. What I'm looking at is the day after, so Friday and then Saturday, we might end up with severe weather anywhere from northeast Oklahoma, like down by, take that back, really anywhere from like Texarkana all the way up to St. Louis, anywhere in there, and then maybe as far west as Kansas City and as far east as, I don't know, like Clarksville, Tennessee, maybe. So we got a big area of potential severe weather on Saturday, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get some severe storms out there maybe Friday as well. Um, yeah, here's some more dump trucks coming off. So we'll be busy here. It looks like. So I'm not quite sure what the plan is after this. I'm kind of in a rock and a hard place because I'm not sure if I'm going to go directly to where the severe weather potential is, or if I'm going to run home first, or what. But I have to take into account that if I drive home, it's also 20 hours for me to get home. So it's 2 solid days of driving. So it'd be all day tomorrow and all day Wednesday. I could get home by Wednesday night. And if I have to be back down possibly as far south as Texarkana, which is a full day's drive, that means that I would have to be leaving like Thursday at lunch again. So if I drive home, I'm driving home for like 6 hours, and that's not happening. So what I'm going to do is in the morning, I'm going to reevaluate the severe weather forecast and look and see if we've got a better idea at how things are going to play out, and then we can make a better decision from there. But for now, we're going to focus on getting our equipment. I could have snatched it last night, but I wanted to leave it out one more day just because why not? So I'm not in a hurry to get out of here, but I definitely want to get this done and get back up to Kitty Hawk, because either I'm going to get a hotel down here and then just leave here very early tomorrow at like 5 a.m., or I might try to get up to like Norfolk, or I'm sorry, get over to like Raleigh or something tonight, um, just to get out of this area and get a little bit of a head start on wherever I go. But I'm probably leaning towards staying here again tonight, just because it doesn't really save me a whole lot of time by driving 2.5, 3 hours west. And I have not, let's see, I left on Wednesday, and since I left, I have not had more than 2 hours before I've gone to bed at a hotel. And I have other work besides storm chasing and stuff that I have to do, admin stuff, development stuff. We build a lot of things. So I have a lot I have a lot besides what's going on here. Batteries, they last between 4.5 and 7 days. On paper, they could last much longer than that, but it's a little bit difficult to tell because there's a lot of environmental factors, temperature, and all sorts of stuff. So on paper is just theoretical, but I mean, we're going to be going, well, we're past 72 hours. So, but we should be able to get at minimum 4 solid days, but probably realistically more like 5.5 or 6. But so what I'm probably going to try to do is, that's why I'm trying to get this quick, because if I can get back up to where I can get a hotel tonight here, then that means that maybe I could get there by 8. And like I said, I haven't been to a hotel before 10 o'clock. No, 10:30. I haven't been to a hotel before like 10:30 since Wednesday, and it's left me no time to do anything. So I really think we're just gonna try to get to a hotel before 10:30 tonight, because it's starting to get a little bit old. Last night was the roundabout situation, so that took forever. Um, but yeah, here we are. I guess A couple of comments about waiting in line here. I have noticed that some of the vacationers might be the rudest people I've ever met. Like, holy shit. Every single one of them that's been an asshole has had out of state plates. But they're all driving these giant freaking RVs, and they're just blowing by people in the left lane, in the oncoming lane. They're doing like 60 miles an hour. And they go down here to where you turn into this campground. And from the looks of it, they're getting clogged up trying to go into the campground. So hopefully they've gotten them pushed out or cleared out of the way, because we might have a bottleneck from that. But we had this total witch of a lady in this red Suburban. Some of you might have seen her drive by if you were watching in the app. But she was driving by with her driver's side window down, just screaming bloody murder at people. Get off the road, pull over, get off the road. And of course, I had my window down, so I was like, are you a cop? And she goes, no, I fucking live in Virginia. And I said, cool, then go back to Virginia. And I rolled the window back up, and she's just like, I'm putting this on Facebook. I'm like, go ahead, take a picture of this. So she took a picture of me, so I'm sure I'm on Facebook somewhere. But she was screaming at everybody. There was a guy who lives down here behind me. He turned around. He said he had to go to the potty, so he went back north to get to a potty. I'm sure he'll show up behind me again, but he lives here, and she was screaming at him, and like, we were just parked like this. I mean, it's like this. There's probably 30 or 40 cars up here, and she's just like, as she's going by real slow, one by one, she's just screaming at everybody as she's coming north. And she lives in Virginia. She's just a nobody, so that's why I was like, well, then maybe you should go back. Like, I don't know what her problem was. Like, she has an entire lane over there. I don't know what her deal was. I think she was afraid to drive. There's like a 1-inch puddle over there, and I think she was afraid to drive her little princess mobile through the 1-inch puddle. So I wish I would have been streaming for that, because it was pretty entertaining. She was like slowly driving north and like slowing down for each car and just like screaming at them. And if they didn't have their window down, she was like laying on the horn, and she like was very like every freaking car. It's like, God, like, what possibly has to go wrong in your life to feel like you've got to go down a line of 30 cars in a place you don't live and just start screaming at all of them when they're not even anywhere near your lane of travel? Like, I don't know. It was pretty interesting. She was not a very pleasant person, and I feel bad for her husband or kids or whatever, because my God, I feel bad for the state of Virginia. For, jeez, if any of you guys live in Virginia, I feel so bad for you guys. She was not a treat. Yeah, she was kind of nuts. That's very weird behavior. Holy shit. But yeah, so the washout's fixed. I think they're just trying to get the equipment out of the road now. Um, but yeah, so we'll go down here into Buxton. We'll get our equipment and then get the heck out of here. Well, or at least get back up through here. I don't know what the status. There's another Highway 12 closure. Remember also that's south of it's down on that the next island down, whatever it is. The next island down has the closure as well. But this area got I'm really surprised here. So where this washout is, there's this basically like causeway bridge. I don't know what you would technically call it. Causeway, bridge, whatever. Road that's not on the ground. I don't know. There's this bridge that they built up here. And it wasn't that long ago. It had to be within the last, I think, 10 years or so. Maybe even sooner. I don't know. But it was recent. Because I remember last time I was out here, like 5 years ago, 3 years ago? Whatever it was. Last time I was out here, it was a big deal that the bridge was open.
Air Med Flight, Hilo Transport, 4800 South Croatan Highway, Outer
this area here used to wash out really bad. At one point, this got pretty much totally washed out by a hurricane, and a lot of the influence for building this big bridge was the fact that there was just really no other option. I mean, it was either that or just not have any access. So this inlet has gotten so wide, or basically the gap between these two land masses has gotten so wide, that there's just really no possible way to have a road and not have it wash out at some point. But I'll be honest with you, I'm a little surprised that they didn't just continue that down farther, because the where this washout is not very far south of this bridge, like at all. Or I'm sorry, north of this bridge, rather. I said south, I meant north. Because there's probably what, maybe 10 miles? Let's see. 7 miles. There's like 7 miles as the crow flies. And I know it's expensive to build a bridge, but I think the bridge itself is what, 3 miles long as it is? 2.5, something like that. I'm really surprised that that area got the bridge also, but then this up. I don't know. To me, it was like we fixed one problem, but you have the same problem up here. You know, just like a 5-minute drive north. I'm very surprised that this area has not gotten an elevated structure yet, because this is where it always washes out up here. So there's two bridges. There's this one we're gonna go over, and then there's that one farther south. And it's not that much farther south. It's just a few minutes, but that one farther south was a problem area as well, but so is this one. So I don't know if at some point they'll elevate this or what. I know there's a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of environmental bullshit basically with this protected seashore thing, which I totally get it. The environment is very important, but it's also hard on the environment to continue to have the road washed out, all the pollutants from the road and oil spill, oil seepage and stuff on the road, having all that going back out, washed over and such. So that's probably not great. Or having cars go in, you know, some like shit like that, because I'm sure it could happen. I don't know. It just seems like hopefully at some point, and I know a lot of people that live here probably agree. I'm sure there's some wise ass in the chat that's telling me all these technicalities of why it's not possible, but I will tell you that probably at some point, if there's going to continue to be road access out here, maybe if it's not soon, maybe if it's 15 years from now, there's going to have to be something, because this is eroding out here just like it is on the island. Well, I mean, farther down the island, like in Buxton and such. I mean, houses are falling in down there because there's houses there. Well, up here there's a road, and eventually this road's going to go in. There's going to have to be something probably done. I mean, I'm sure that there's a thought process in place here, and I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to educate the people that might not know where we're at. But there's going to have to be something done at some point, because we've seen the erosion out here become more of a problem. Like previously, it was a problem, but it was a kind of a controlled problem. It was a little bit slower paced, but over the past year or couple, it's been happening quicker, and we've had 3 incidents already in the past 2 months where this road has been compromised significantly. And then you have people that are stranded on this island down here. And it's not really anybody's fault. It's a barrier island, people. It's not a continent. I mean, there's some places out here, you know, where it's like 2,500 feet wide, if even, maybe 1,000 feet wide. It's a barrier island. It's not. There's places where it's so thin it has no east-west component, where it's basically just the road. And oh my God, what the fuck? Jesus Christ, that guy nearly fucking smoked me. I am so fucking tired of people like that. Out of state plate too. Holy shit. I threw my foot on the brake. I was about ready to throw it and drive. Holy shit. I'm watching in my mirror, and this guy's not changing lanes, and he was like, you could tell him, I'm watching him in my mirror. You could clearly see plain as day that he's like looking down, probably on his phone, and then he looks up at the last second and jerks it into the other lane. Like, I've got my rear facing lights on. Like, if anybody can't see that we're stopped in the road, they've got a problem. Holy shit. I'm sorry, people, but that kind of crap pisses me off. Like, get off your goddamn phone and drive. Holy smokes. Holy shit. Maybe we need to use the rear facing camera in case that does happen. God dang, people. Holy shit. I have noticed that a lot out here. Somebody in the chat made a comment a couple days ago when we were driving through like Virginia or something that I will experience some of the most aggressive and unsafe driving I've ever seen out here in parts of eastern Virginia, eastern North Carolina, and I kind of thought, yeah, okay. Like, I've driven in New York and Dallas. Like, I know what aggressive driving is. And then I came out here, honestly, and it's not the locals, folks. It's these people with out of state plates, and nothing's wrong with that. But there's a lot of folks out here that, you know, I'm not even talking about speed. It's just there's a lot of like, we're just going to cross 3 lanes of traffic without a blinker and giving anybody any indication that we're crossing the lanes. We're just going to pull out in front of people and not get good. Just a lot of really unsafe driving out here. I don't know if it's because it's people are on vacation and they're getting overly excited or what, but I don't know what the accident statistics are out here, but I'd almost be willing to bet they're pretty high. God dang, that ticks me off. But no, what I was saying is there's just really not a lot of control you can do out here. Folks, if you look at a map, I mean, we are literally on a strip of sand, basically, with some asphalt on it. Where we are at right now, the section of land that we're on right now is 675 yards wide. So what's 600? What's 700? So this is 2,100 feet. So this is less than a half a mile wide stretch of land right here. There's just not much. And you can only do so much about that. One of the things that we could actually talk about on here, since it's relevant, and I'm not trying to get people excited or get people upset here, because I know we get some folks that get really sensitive and say that it's the landowner's fault, blah, 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 when it's not. But the important thing to remember is that when the and I don't want anybody to take this as like religion, and I really don't want to open this religious debate, please. But I think people fail to remember that this earth was not created however it was created for people, whether it was it doesn't matter. I'm trying to say this so I don't lose control of the stream and have all sorts of people coming in here telling me I need to go to church on Sunday. But scientifically proven, I mean, how many millions of years ago was this landmass not even here? You know what I'm saying? This ecosystem was not tailor built to people. We didn't come out here 100 years ago and take dump trucks and build this little island out here and say, okay, come live out here. It's fit for us. Like, this is a piece of nature that humans have chosen to occupy. We have to understand that there's going to be some that we cannot control with it. This is a large ocean that we have and a very small landmass. The ocean is going to have much more influence on it than our 5 DOT dump trucks do. And that's not a knock on the DOT. It's just a fact. If I go east right now, if I go due east, I mean, Bermuda is out there. But isn't Bermuda, I mean, whoop-de-doo. If I go due east, folks, I basically go like 3,000 miles and then I hit Africa. Yeah, 3,700 miles roughly, and then I find Africa. We have all of that water I think people lose track of how much water there is in the ocean. Dumping some sand out here isn't going to do anything. And I don't think anybody that lives here expects it to, other than just buy some time. So it's really annoying when the internet comes in and they're like, oh, just put some more sand there. The DOT is so stupid. And it's like, guys, we've got an entire ocean's worth of water. Like, there's not enough sand in anywhere to stop that. Because a lot of people, what I'm getting at is I've seen a lot of people on Facebook and stuff start blaming the DOT and stuff for this. It's not the DOT's fault. This area of land, was not tailor built for human inhabitants. Like, this was not a synthetic thing that humans did. This is a natural occurring barrier island, basically. We choose to live on it and occupy it. So we have to understand that, things are going to change and things might happen. And that's about all we can do with it. This isn't oh, people are stupid kind of thing. So we could talk a lot about the geography and stuff out here too. I'm not going to get into it too much because I don't think people are really that interested in it. But these are, for all intents and purposes, they're barrier islands. I mean, there's water on both sides. There's a lot of erosion potential, and something to remember too. A lot of folks say that this erosion is not natural. I've seen that comment so many times. It was even on the news where they interviewed some lady, and she's like, it's not natural. No, it is. It's absolutely natural. There's water on both sides, and you have land in the middle. Water erodes soil and sand and anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Water will erode steel, concrete. It doesn't matter. It'll erode it. That's how it works. It's just simple, like, hydrostatic properties that we all learned in middle school science class. If you've got a pile of dirt and you dump water on it, it turns into muddy water and it flows downhill. It's just how it works. And to make this out to be some kind of conspiracy out here, because I think that's what a lot of these people are implying, is that this is some conspiracy for the government to take the land or something. And now, this is all perfectly natural. It is happening at a quicker rate than it used to, though. When people chose to inhabit this in the way that they inhabit it, it wasn't eroding and changing at the rate that it is now. 50 to 100 years ago, this wasn't eroding like this. The statistic, I think, has been 15 feet of shore or 5 to 15 feet or whatever on average has been lost per year. Well, if that's average, I think this year we've lost, 150 in some spots? So that's way more than average. It's still natural. It's a naturally occurring process, but it absolutely is occurring at a higher rate for whatever reason we want to cite. It doesn't really matter for the purposes of this conversation, but it's a pretty serious deal because there's a lot of lives out here. There's a lot of tourism, which is important for people because they run their businesses on it, and people need to run a business and make money so they can live. There's people that live out here. There's more, and frankly, more importantly for the greater scheme to any of this than the human side of this is there's also an ecosystem out here. Now, obviously, the natural ecosystem and the animals and all that will change and adapt as the barrier islands change and adapt because that's how nature works. But if it's happening at an increased rate than it normally is, that means that the ecosystem it might not adapt as quick as the changes are happening, and that would be very bad for the environment. I know it's not cool to talk about the environment anymore, apparently, and if you say that the environment's important, you're called a libtard, and I most certainly am not. But I still give a shit about the environment, and I think it's important that we all remember that just because we're going to die in the next, now to 80 years, whoever may be watching, whatever age frame you're in, just because we're all going to die doesn't mean that the people after us should have to live in a shithole. And there's a lot of folks, a lot of businesses, and a lot of governments that are making this earth a shithole. And it's about time it stops. And the easiest way to stop that, to start, is by stop dumping your fucking trash on the beach. Stop dumping it out the window. I can't stand when you're driving down the highway and somebody throws their McDonald's bag out the window because they're so freaking lazy. It's ridiculous. Just stop doing that. Like, you're right. One paper bag out the window isn't really going to make a difference, but if you've got 400 million people throwing bags out the window, and then it does, you know. So that's just the public service announcement here, folks. I feel like it's kind of my responsibility to make that point. We should be getting going any minute here. They said 5 o'clock at the latest, but they said it'd be between 4:15 and 5. So, and then it's gonna be a long drive down in there because we got a lot of people on the road waiting. So I have a strong feeling we're gonna move about 10 miles an hour because there's a lot of timid drivers up here probably, which is fine. But it's probably gonna be a long drive down in there. The good news is the drive out should be pretty quick because there's gonna be a hell of a lot less people in there wanting to get out than get in. Because from driving around down there the other day, I mean, there's a lot of folks kind of stranded down there, but it seems like there's more people that want in than out. We'll take a little drive around, though, and make sure there's not people stuck in the sand. There's a lot of people on social media taking pictures and drone videos and everything else of people stuck in the sand and being like, oh, look at all these people stuck in the sand, but yet I don't see really anybody assisting the people stuck in the sand. Like, if we've got time to put them on the internet, maybe we could help them for or after. I mean, take your pictures and stuff to show what's happening. That's fine, but I'm amazed all these people that are out there like videoing and all this crap, and like a lot of these people could just be pushed. Like if you just gave them a push, like with your body, you could get their car out. It's like if you're gonna take the energy and the time to put them on the internet, which is fine, it's reporting the news. I get it. You'd think you could like walk over and ask them if you can help them, but whatever, I guess. Different way of thinking. I'm not sure, but I think there's a decent amount of people that are stuck in the sand. And when I say stuck in the sand, I mean like stuck in the sand on the road. Like they're just trying to drive down one of the side streets and there's too much sand. So we might take a drive around and see if we find any like we did yesterday. So yeah, we will see if anybody's stuck, I guess, and probably get out of here. But it'll probably take 45 minutes to get down there, I'm sure. If not even an hour, because you know everybody's going to go 10 miles an hour the whole way, probably, so. Based on what I'm seeing, though, I don't think anything actually down on the island has really changed since yesterday, though. I don't think the high tides of last night and today have really affected it much. I mean, that was pretty much small change compared to what the tides were the other day, so. Yeah, the magnetic poles. Yeah. We're gonna have to change our compasses, god damn it. I don't know. Hold it upside down. Well, everybody's got their brake lights on up there, like they're ready to move, so we might be going here. The little road closed sign is like right past this curve, or the curve in the road here. But looking at our two cameras, they look about the same as they have the past 2 days, so. Somebody did, on the number 8 camera, somebody did come through and dig a bunch of sand off of like that sidewalk and then off of the road with a skid loader, so. They must be going around some of the streets down there and trying to clean them off the best they can. So that's good. But yeah, nothing has gone in the water yet, in terms of houses. So I tell you what, though, all it's going to take is one more storm for some of these, because some of these are really, really barely holding on. It's not a good situation. But anyway. So yeah, expect some more like minor flooding issues from this over the next couple of days. Um, there's not another storm coming. I'm not seeing anything that's gonna make this worse other than just typical tide activity. We don't have another wind storm coming, I don't think. After Imelda went by, and I say went by because it didn't even track here, but the seas were in rough shape from it. And that was, what, about 2.5 weeks ago? Something like that. Close enough. Beginning of the month. And when that came through, at that time, we didn't expect this to happen. We didn't expect another storm to come through and make it even worse. So I mean, we can't promise anything, but I don't see anything on the medium to long range models at all that indicate any more trouble for this area. If there is any more trouble, it's nothing that we're picking up on yet. So probably something that we should talk about, I guess, and bring up, because I know there's a lot of people live out here or vacation out here that are worried about what's going to happen with the next one. And I don't know when the next one's going to be. It could be 2 weeks from now, or it could be a year from now. I don't know, but as of right now, it looks like it's going to be relatively fair weather, with the exceptions of tide and localized issues or localized storms that come up, things like that. So that's the good news. The good news is it's over. The nor'easter is over. It's done. So yeah, it is officially over. But obviously the tide impacts and stuff. But it's not that windy out. I mean, it's breezy, probably maybe gusting to like 20. But the ocean, the waves are still pretty crazy. But overall, it's not. It ain't like it was. Let's put it that way. Back to those more just average storm conditions that people are used to out here. But if this thing would have came in much stronger, I think we would have really seen some problems. Because like I said, this highway didn't wash out until it only had to hold on like another hour, and the worst conditions would have been done. Like 1 hour later, if even, the tide started going down. And that was the biggest tide. It was like a 4-foot tide. So, it didn't have to hold out much longer. It almost made it through. It almost made it. But if it were any stronger, I mean, I can't imagine what it would have done. Yeah, there was an interesting article about the pole shift and about the what did, hold on a minute, what was it called? The radial axis, the Earth's radial axis adjustment rate increasing factor or something. I don't know. I read something about it. All right, I think we're about to move here. People up there are like inching forward. Watch. You know what'll probably happen? It'll be our luck. Somebody's going to drive too fast and wreck their RV, and it's going to block the whole road, and then it's going to be closed again. That'll be my luck. How much you want to bet? Please don't let that happen. Oh, yeah, but everybody's going to be slowed up because you got Jack and Jill up here. What the frick is going on here? You got some guy parked the wrong way. What are we doing? Having a little fishing party here? Oh, you got a dead battery. Okay. Yeah, go figure. Yeah, probably because you've been sitting there with your key on. I mean, I get it, but he's got somebody helping him, so that's no worry. But yep, I'm surprised there's not more of that. People that have been sitting here the past couple hours and probably left their key on. I kind of was wondering if there was going to be anybody with a dead battery or car that wouldn't start. Sure as shit, there sure was. So, that don't surprise me. Boy, hopefully we move at a little bit quicker rate than this the next 20 miles, though. Holy smokes. This is why I showed up early and sat there, because I didn't want to end up getting stuck behind somebody. Well, I mean, obviously we're stuck behind somebody, but I didn't want to end up getting stuck behind, like, everybody, I guess. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, blow the stop sign to come out into traffic. Come on, guys. Seriously? A little bit of courtesy. That's really rude. Like, I agree, we should probably let the people in, but just blow the stop sign and just... Wow, that's okay. Like, we'll all get our turn here to get moving, but you don't need to blow the stop sign and get out in front of people. Good way to have a wreck. Jesus. Like, everybody here has been waiting, you know. The road ain't going nowhere. Everybody gets a chance. All right, well, here we go. My luck, the damn frickin' sand wall will probably blow out again. Just going, and if it does, I'm still going. The truck made it through yesterday, so we know we can make it. But like I said, I was surprised by how much they had it cleaned up last night when I came through. I mean, that was about, what, 9 o'clock? And it was pretty well taken care of for the most part. I'm actually surprised how quick people are moving, to be honest with you. Alright, so that washout was just down here around the corner. I mean, you should be able to see where it was when we come through. Yeah, I'd imagine at some point this is just going to have to be an elevated structure for some, for more length here, because we're at sea level. I mean, the water, if you climb over the sand pile there on the left, I mean, you're in the water. And, just to kind of prove that point, last night the water climbed over on its own and the road became the ocean again, so. Yeah, this road almost held out. It almost did. Like I said, if it would have held in there for like another hour, it probably would have made it yesterday. Because right about a half an hour to an hour after it blew out is when everything started to get better, and it started getting better really fast. Yeah, right after this pole is where it blew out. I can tell you that from experience. So last night, this berm, a lot of people call these dunes. I'm sorry, I get it. I get it. That's what the locals call them, but this is a berm, right? This is not a dune. This is a 3 foot wide pile of sand that's 6 feet tall. That's a berm. Um, this berm was not here at all. Like the berm was gone. They had the road cleaned out, but there was no berm. So imagine my surprise as we were driving through here and the water was because if you go over the fog line, you're in the Atlantic Ocean. So that's all that protects this road, folks. That's it. So you can see why this happens. But that's where it blew out. Everything else through here is fine. And we're stopped. Hello? Hi. Hi, what are you doing? Hi. What are you doing? Oh, good. Oh, good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna call you later, okay? I'm in the middle of driving through some right now, okay? Alright, I love you. Yeah, bye. Alright, so here's all the people that got stuck down there last night. It's probably good for business down there, though. Yeah, a lot of these places the water just kind of creeps up through the bottom of the sand. So, normal. So yeah, this wasn't damaged as bad as it was the last round a couple weeks ago, because I think they had the road down for what, 3 days, 2 or 3 days. I don't remember if it was 2 or 3, but regardless, the road was out of service for way longer than it was this time. Alright, so we'll be through this part where it's kind of nasty like this pretty quick, and then I'm assuming we'll be able to speed back up a little bit here. But part of the reason everybody's slowing down is because people up here that are too timid to drive through the puddles on the other side of the road, so they're coming into our lane and making everybody slow down. I can assure you that every automobile out there is capable of driving through 1 inch of water, but that's all right. Because we really don't have anywhere we can get over to here. But it you know, maybe a mile down the road here, it's clean. It's no problems at all, so it's just dry road then. Alright, so we should be back to just a normal road now. No, the drivers weren't going slow because of the saltwater and avoiding damage to their cars. They were going slow because they were coming into the wrong lane, and there's no reason to go into the other lane of traffic, in my opinion. Because where are we supposed to go? Into the sinkhole? You know? I agree, but at the same time, we are on the road, so their car is no more important than mine. You know, and they're trying to push everybody in front of the RV, they were around the bend, they were trying to push them off into the damn sinkhole. And there was an inch of standing water, so they were coming into the right lane for like no reason whatsoever. That's why I made the comment. I was just saying, you know, an inch of water is not gonna. Here's the thing: there's a lot of rumors about salt water in cars, and I'm really gonna piss some people off that live in the Rust Belt. Salt water does not destroy your car. Not washing your car destroys your car. I saw so many comments on Facebook too, like on my post, like, oh, your car's going to be wrecked. You drove through salt water. No, it's not. It's a brand new, it's a $60,000 truck. You think it can't go through salt water? Like, it can handle, like, I take this thing through anything. You have to wash it off. The thing is, folks, is the way that this works, because I know there's a lot of people that aren't from here that are probably like, what's the big deal with salt water? If you live in, like, the Rust Belt, you get it. Like, maybe if you live in, like, I don't know, where it doesn't snow, some people might not be familiar, but the salt is just similar to road salt. It's corrosive to metal that's exposed. Water will activate the salt. If you just, the salt will not do anything to your car until it's activated and the oxidization process starts by moisture or water. Well, the salt's in the water, so okay, it's obviously going to start quickly, but if you take your vehicle and wash it, you remove the salt, which takes time to oxidize. It doesn't just, like, some of these comments of the people that drove through the flood yesterday, they're like, oh, the vehicle is a total loss now. Like, it's not. Just because salt water touched it doesn't mean that the vehicle is a loss. Otherwise, all these vehicles would be scrap. If you don't wash the vehicle and you're constantly going through salty environments or corrosive or whatever environments, then yeah, it will destroy the vehicle because it will cause frame to rot out and all sorts of stuff. But if you go and remove it, it can't oxidize anymore. You can't get that oxidization process, the rust process. You can't have that process happen if the salt isn't there. Like, I was actually arguing with somebody on a Facebook post this morning on one of these Outer Banks news whatever pages, where the guy said once salt water gets into the frame, the vehicle is a total loss according to the insurance. No, it's not. Most vehicles have an open box frame anyway. There's no in the frame. I mean, some trucks like mine have a box frame, but there's drain holes in it. But this guy was arguing that once salt touches the metal, it is forever prone to rust. That as soon as the salt touches it, it changes something in the metal, I guess. It's not true. As long as you remove it, it will stop the process. Now, if you have a rusty vehicle, rust is like cancer. It will spread until it's removed. Once rust has started, it's hard to get rid of it. You have to remove all of it. You have to sand it, cut it out, whatever. But just driving through the salt water and then going to the car wash the next day, I mean, I'm not going to have any problems. Now, if you make a habit of this and then you start not cleaning it off your vehicle, you're probably stupid. But like, I went to the car wash this morning just because I didn't know if I was going to be sitting another day or not, and I just sprayed off underneath, and it is what it is. So, but yeah, where I was going with that story was I was telling you guys about I was arguing with this dude on Facebook, and he's just like, no, and he's like, the auto manufacturers can tell when salt has touched the frame, and it's like, what does the auto manufacturer have to do with it? But public service announcement for anybody that vacations down here or goes into salty, corrosive environments. Wash your car, not the top of it, like the bottom of it. Like, you have to like lay on your back on the floor at the car wash and spray underneath of it. And if you're not spending at least like 10 minutes doing it, you're probably not doing it right. Like, and if you've got a box frame, like a fully enclosed frame, like, you need to stick the nozzle in there and like fully flush the inside of it out. Like, you need to flood it, because not all of them have a way for it to drain other than the holes and stuff drilled in the sides of it. So like, you literally have to absolutely flood the living hell out of it, which is definitely a disadvantage of having a box frame, like a fully boxed frame. But yeah, you really got to clean your car up after this, I tell you. That's why in the winter, I won't even drive my vehicle without washing it before I put it away, like at least 3 or 4 times a week, just because I think that it's going to be cheaper in the long run to pay the money for the damn car wash versus having damage from corrosion. Because I hate rust on vehicles. Like, it ruins them. Like, it's hard to buy a vehicle in the Rust Belt even, because everything is just rusted all to hell. Like, anybody who lives down here, if you guys think that the rust down here is bad, it's nothing compared to up where they salt the roads constantly all winter and use way too much of it. It's so bad. It's so bad on vehicles. But we were really concerned at the beginning of this of some freshwater flooding, so, flooding from the rainfall, but that didn't end up happening. One of the problems out here is just because of the geography and topography, there's not a lot of places for the water to go. Yes, I know the ocean is on both sides, but because of the sand berms and the way things are built, like if you get a lot of rain at once, it can be really difficult for that to drain. Doesn't really have a lot of places to go, especially when a lot of the waterways and drainage areas are plugged up with sand that was deposited from basically the surge from the ocean over the past couple of weeks. We were concerned about potentially a flooding problem just from the rain alone. We didn't get that, thankfully. There were a few minor issues, but I don't think anything that anyone who lives here, I don't think anyone would call it out of the ordinary. All right, here's the other bridge I was talking about. It is pretty out here. I was hoping maybe we'd get a storm coming off of the water that we could look at, but there's some dark looking clouds, but that's about it, unfortunately. So I'm going south. Yeah, this bridge is only like, 6 or 7 years old? Something like that. I imagine there will probably be a day where most of Highway 12 looks like this. Like, I just don't know how it could possibly continue to go on for that much longer at sea level. Certain spots of it are fine, but there's some spots where, the ocean literally comes up, like it's a foot from the road. So, at least when the tide comes up. So I would honestly imagine that there's probably going to be a time in the next maybe 5 to 20 years where most of Highway 12 probably looks like this. It's not like any sort of like prediction I'm trying to make with like accuracy or anything. That's just my thoughts, just a guess. So we're gonna go retrieve those devices before it gets dark, and then we'll we'll kind of keep an eye out, see if anybody's stuck in the sand or whatever, and we can stop and see if they want help. But here's the roundabout. Some of you guys might remember the roundabout from last night. Famous roundabout. I don't see anybody down to the left, which is where we were yesterday with the people in the sand, so that is good. Pretty much all the water's out of the gas station parking lot too. This is where we were parked yesterday for so long. I mean, there's still a couple inches of water there, but I mean, it was like totally flooded. It's just a small puddle now, but yesterday it was just totally flooded. It takes a long time for this water to drain off, though. I tell you what, because this is almost, well, it was way worse yesterday, but it's still got quite a bit of water on it. Should be pretty easy for us to get north here in an hour or so, because it looks like all the traffic that's going north should be probably have made it north by then. All right, well, any minute now, we'll get through town, hopefully. Okay, we're almost through. I think. At least where I think the slow up probably ends, because it's not flooded past this curve up here. At least it shouldn't be. It wasn't yesterday, and this has definitely gotten better. Definitely gotten. It's a lot better. Yeah, here's the deepest part, but this is the end of it. It still isn't that bad, but... Alright, well we got clear of that pretty good, so we should be good now. We probably only got like a 20-minute drive now. But I'm not seeing as much northbound traffic, so that's good. That gives me hope for being able to get out of here without it taking too long to get out. So we shouldn't have to fight so much traffic. I think the worst of everybody kind of went through already. But it's good that they were able to get this open today, because that's asking a lot for people to be stuck down here, especially if they're not from here, you know, without proper services. Like, there's no McDonald's down here, there's no Sonic down here. And yes, there's local places to eat, I get that. But this isn't exactly an urban area where it's got everything you need to get if you forgot something, you know. So it's partially why I was enthused to sneak out of here last night, because I'm not equipped to sit down here. Most travelers weren't equipped to sit down here, and honestly, I think caught a lot of people by surprise, because everybody knows that 12 can have issues, but even like an hour before the damn road washed out, like an hour, maybe 2 hours, the DOT even put something on Facebook like, oh yeah, it's still open, everything's fine. And so that was kind of a surprise that happened, and rightfully so. But trust me, otherwise a lot of people will have left. I mean, I would have left. If I would have known that it was going to do that, I would have left. But it's all right. At least I got a Dollar General, so. A couple of them. I think there's 3 down here, 2 or 3. But it does take a long time to travel this road during the day. At night it doesn't, because there's really not much for traffic. But during the day, especially when you get stuck in all the stoplights farther up north, it can take a while to get up and down through here. It's really not, it's what, 50 miles worth of road, 55 maybe? But it takes probably an hour and 20 minutes, maybe an hour and 30. At night, it's not too bad. Like, hell, even last night, I got the hell out of here pretty quick. Yes, I read the chat when I can. But when I can, basically, is the key word there. Yeah, so high tide has already happened for the day. The next one will be around midnight, down here anyway. But I think we're gonna snag the equipment. Well, this is kind of the last stretch here. Yeah, probably what, 10 minutes now? Just in time before it gets dark. Because I really hate doing this crap in the dark because you can't see anything. This makes it that much more difficult. So I think, like I said, I left, what was it, Wednesday? No. Thursday. Wednesday. It was Wednesday. Yeah, because Friday we were down here putting the equipment, right? Or was it Saturday? It was Friday. Had to be Friday. Yeah, it was Friday. So, I mean, we've been covering this event for 4 days now, and this wasn't even a named tropical system. It wasn't a hurricane. It wasn't a tropical storm or anything. It was just some wind, basically. So, I'm glad I came out here. I know a lot of people and a lot of media, like, hell, I even think the Weather Channel pulled out. But a lot of folks left Saturday, which, I mean, I can't blame anybody. I was just surprised by the amount of media that left on Saturday, because it ended, or Friday? No, Saturday. Because yesterday was the big event. Yesterday was the peak of this, the high tide and everything. I mean, yesterday was by far the peak. I mean, we had the highest water, the most inundation, the strongest winds. So, I'm glad I didn't pack up and go home. I considered it. I was like, God, maybe we should just grab our stuff and get out if that's as bad as it's gonna get. But I was like, nah, because we had like a 4 foot something tide coming yesterday, and I saw that, and it's like, yeah, we definitely want to stay out for that, because that's exactly what happened, exactly what we expected. That was when we got the worst push from the water coming into Buxton and everything. So. Things worked out pretty well. Yeah, I made the joke about the Weather Channel. No, there's the porta potty again. Nothing, no offense to the Weather Channel by any means, but I just made the funny comment about the Weather Channel, and somebody didn't like it. Whatever, but because I see somebody brought up the Weather Channel, I made that comment because I'm like, the other day we were down there. I said, oh, I think this is where the Weather Channel was. I wonder why they left. And then I followed it up with, well, I know they're not down here because they would be screaming at me to get out of their shot right now. They did that to me twice because I walked behind where they were filming, and I had no idea they were filming, and it's also a free country. And as soon as, like, they were about to go live or something, and the camera guy, get the fuck out of the camera! Get out of the camera! Go! And of course, naturally, I just stop and stare at the guy, because if you're going to sit there and scream at me to get out of your camera view, I'm probably going to just stop and take my time. I thought that was really rude because I had to be 20 feet away from the guy at walking. Like, it was on a sidewalk. Like, I needed to walk down the sidewalk to do my job. I wasn't going to sit there and wait 5 minutes for them to do their thing. I needed to get back to my truck. And then the other time was in a winter storm. I don't think it was the Buffalo event. Well, it was a Buffalo event. We were at a Hilton Garden Inn or something up there, and walked out, and they were in the parking lot, and they had a generator to run their lights and stuff, and they had the extension cord drug across the parking lot because it was dark out, and I wanted to leave, and they had their extension cord drug, but it was pulled so tight that it was like 3 or 4 inches off the ground, because it was just pulled so tight it wasn't laying on the ground. And I went up to the camera guy. They weren't live, and even if they were, you're blocking the parking lot. You're in the wrong here, not me. But I went up to the guy and I said, hey, any chance you could move your generator a few feet so when I run over your cord, it doesn't unplug it? And he's like, you can't run that over. We're about to go live. And I said, okay, well, I want to go get my food. Like, how long are you going to be? He's like, as long as it takes. We're live in 2 minutes. And I said, well, that's plenty of time for me to move your generator and drive over your cord. Because, it was a portable generator. He literally could have moved it like a foot, and it would have let the cord sag on the ground. And I won't tell you what happened next, but their lights got unplugged. And I hate to be that guy. And some people think that's really rude. But, I had to pick up my food from the little cafe. There was a little mom and pop cafe. It was the only thing open that had hot food at 10 o'clock at night, and they were past closing. But I called them and I was like, hey, if I can be there in 10 minutes, because it was 10, 15 minutes after closing, and they answered. Like, all they had was like hot sandwiches and stuff, and I'm like, if I can be there in like 10 minutes, like, is there any way I can get something to eat? I'm starving. I haven't eaten. And they're like, yeah, but we're leaving here like now, so we'll make it. That's fine, but be quick. And I was just like, come on, guys. Like, you don't own the parking lot. And when I went back into the hotel, I said something to the front desk. And the guy behind the front desk was like, we're actually about to say something to them, because you're the second person that has said that. Because every time they do their effing live shot, they drag the cord across the parking lot, and then they don't let anybody through the parking lot. And people are starting to get pissed. And I'm not like trying to slander the TWC or anything. I'm not talking bad about them. I'm just telling you the story of my experience. Like, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying don't watch them. In fact, I'm actually very pro TWC. I'm just sharing a story from you. That's why I made the funny the other day. It doesn't mean that they're a bad company. It doesn't mean that they're bad people. I'm just saying I don't know why they're like, if you're gonna do this live shot and it's so important, then you should probably do it away from the public. I don't know. I think it's silly when these TV people take their job so seriously. Like, you get these TV people, it doesn't matter if it's Fox Weather, Weather Channel, Weather Nation, CNN, doesn't matter what it is. Like, they think that because they're journalists and reporters that, like, I don't know. There's this mentality that the media is like king of the land, and that's not the case. I mean, the media is very important, and freedom of the press is important. Getting the word out is important. I completely agree. But I always just kind of giggle when they're like, "We're about to go live, so no." It's like, oh, you're about to go live. Guess what? I can go live too, and all I need is my phone. It's like, wow, you take your job so serious. Like, you need a generator and 35 freaking studio lights to videotape a guy for a minute and a half. Like, Jesus Christ, I've been doing that with my iPhone since like 2018. Like, calm down, buddy. Jesus Christ. Like, life doesn't have to be so damn serious. Like, if somebody wants to drive through the parking lot and your extension cord's in the way, all you gotta do is say, yeah, man, I'll move it for you. No big deal. You don't have to be like, we're going live. Like, okay, dude, calm down. It's gonna be okay. I just think it's funny. I deleted the comment of the person said that I was being rude by telling guys, get a grip. Like, we have a little bit. Life doesn't have to be so goddamn serious, people. Like, we gotta calm down a little bit. Like, it's okay to make fun of things that we think are kind of funny. Like, I didn't say names. I didn't defame anybody. I didn't embarrass anybody. I just told you guys a story. It doesn't hurt nothing. We gotta be able to do that and poke fun at things that are just extremely silly. Because I didn't call them a bunch of idiots. I didn't call them anything. I just said that I thought it was a very silly way to conduct business, and there's nothing wrong with that. So if you really think there's something wrong with that, then you might be part of the problem. But your middle finger gets a workaround on me. Do you guys remember it was in Hurricane Francine, I think, last year, or whatever it was, in Louisiana, and that Mike Slidell dude, I don't like him. You guys want to hear a story, I can tell you a story, but I'm not going to tell it to you right now because I don't want to, like, defame the poor guy. I'll tell it to you later when you can't connect the dots. But when he was doing his little live shot and somebody came up behind him with, like, an F Joe Biden sign, and then somebody else was carrying a Trump sign, and, like, he noticed it, he just, like, freaked out. I thought that was pretty funny. And they had to, like, cut like, he goes up and puts his hand over the camera. I thought it was pretty funny. Like, obviously those people were attention seeking, and I'm not saying it's funny because it was political. I'm just saying I think it was funny because they photobombed this guy's live shot with, like, homemade picket signs, and I thought it was freaking hilarious. And he, like, got so pissed off, and he, like, just, like, gets angry and then, like, covers up the camera. It's like, dude, calm down. Like, it ain't that big of a deal. Like, they're just kids effing around. Like, you gave them what you wanted by having the reaction. I don't know, whatever. I thought it was freaking hilarious, though. I'm just like, I got a kick out of that. Just because it was dumb kids, and they kind of... You've got this billion and billion... Oh, Jesus Christ, there's geese everywhere. God dang. You got this billions of dollars company, and they kind of got sabotaged by a couple high school kids and a Sharpie marker. I thought it was funny. I'm not saying it's anything wrong. It's just I thought it was kind of funny. I giggled about it pretty hard. Yeah, there was the time that Cantori went kneed the guy in the nuts on TV. That was pretty funny. I'm very pro Jim Cantori. I think Cantori should go start his own YouTube channel and just be independent, honestly. Because I will tell you, folks, for meeting the guy is genuinely a very nice person. I really think he should do his own network, honestly. But some guy came up to him and like attacked him or something, and he kneed him in the crotch, and then just kept talking. I thought it was pretty funny. I think that was during a hurricane too. I mean, that was the appropriate reaction. I mean, what else are you gonna do? Somebody comes up and starts like grabbing you, and you're trying to talk to a video camera. I mean, I probably would have done the same thing. Oh, that was in the winter. You're right. That wasn't. I think that was actually in the winter. I don't know. Whatever. It was funny though. I don't know. I'm just not a TV person, guys. A lot of people get excited. Oh yeah, the TV showed my footage. Who cares? I mean, who cares? I'm not against the media unless they're lying, because some of them lie. But I just don't care. Like, they're out here doing the same thing I'm doing. Like, they don't get any more free passes that I don't get. And, it's like the story about the extension cord. It's like, look, I'm out here doing the same thing you're doing. If you guys wanted me to move my extension cord so you can drive out of here and get the only food you've had all day, I would have moved the extension cord. Or told you to go ahead and do it. I don't know. I just thought it was a funny story. Sometimes we like to tell funny stories on the live stream. And then it gets people upset, but whatever, it is what it is. Something on this dash is rattling, and it's starting to tick me off. We are almost there. Traffic really thinned out ahead of us, too. I think there was a car stuck on the beach back there. That beach access. When we come back through here, I'm saying this because somebody will remember it and I'll forget it. It was not the 38 ramp, but it was by the 38 ramp. The beach on the land side, it really looked like somebody was stuck down there. So if I'll pay attention on the way back. If there's a car down there that looks like that still, I'll stop and see if they want pulled out. Because this truck is way more set up for the beach and the sand than that little car was, so we can get him out. Got the kite surfers out here again today. They probably were kite surfing all night. Probably nothing else to do. Well, the thing about sand and beaches and stuff is a lot of people don't know that you need to air your tires down. And if you don't air your tires down, it doesn't matter what you're driving, you get stuck. But sand is very unforgiving. I mean, it is very, very difficult to deal with sand. It's by far worse than snow or mud. Hell, it's worse than ice. At least ice, you know it's slippery, where sand, you don't know where it's gonna just be powder and not be able to move again. Because you get stuck so quick with sand. But like with these bigger tires, and because it's got a kind of a narrow, I mean, I've got an 8.5 wide rim or wheel, but because it's kind of a narrower wheel, I really need to go down to about 12 pounds to get these to really like pancake out flat. So I got to take a lot of air out of these things to go on sand. But if somebody's stuck, I don't mind it. I kind of need a reason though, you know. Oh my God. You can get turned in for driving on the beach without a permit. Okay, well, if somebody is stuck right there and somebody wants to write me a ticket for not having a permit to drive on the beach, then they can write me a ticket. Because you know what, if somebody's stuck, we can pull them out. It's fine. Guys, we gotta live a little bit here, folks, and enjoy what we're doing and not be so worried about someone. I think a lot of people are always worried, like, oh, you get a ticket for that. You get a ticket for breathing wrong. Like, folks, like, I promise you that, like, just, we gotta worry a little bit less, I think. We'll be all right. If somebody's stuck up there, I don't need to go get a permit to go help them out. And if law enforcement wants to write me a ticket for that, they can come write me a ticket. That's just the end of it. That's about it. Appreciate the insight, but we really don't need to worry about it. We'll be all right. All right, so they got all the water off the road here. The hotels look to be in pretty good shape. I don't know what they're like, actually, the buildings that are on the beach, but for the most part, it looks like the parking lots are flushed out. So, because the parking lots were a lake. They weren't a lake. They were like a raging river yesterday. But yeah, I bet with the bridge being closed at the bridge there, I bet a lot of these businesses did a lot of business here, like the food businesses. Oh, this stupid truck's giving me this thing again. I got a ABS sensor that doesn't plug in all the way. And sometimes if you turn sharp, it'll give you it's stupid. And the damn thing's on again, so the thing's gonna ding. It's probably gonna start dinging at me nonstop. And then what'll happen is, I need to replace the ABS sensor is the problem. Because the plug on it, the little tab broke off. It's a little bit loose. And I need to replace the damn thing. It won't take but 15 minutes of my time. But I need to do that at some point, because now it's going to ding at me. And then what'll happen is it'll start giving me all these stupid codes and shit. It'll be like, oh, you need to service this, you need to service that. Oh, your collision avoidance is broken, blah, 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 blah. And all this other crap. And then what it'll come down to is I'll restart the truck and it'll be fine. And then it'll do it again in a few days. And then it'll ding at me and ding at me and ding at me. So, super annoying. Alright guys, give me a second. I'm going to go grab these Hill Start Assist. I don't have Hill Start Assist. Shut up. Oh my God, it's so annoying. I can't really get back there because there's some debris. Give me a sec. I'm going to probably, I hate to just leave you guys here, but I'm going to go snag these. I'll be back in a minute. I gotta grab my boots though. Hold on a second. I got a giant stick lodged up in there. Anyway, I gotta grab my boots. And my tailgate's locked. So if you guys just want to give me a minute. Hold on. I'll be right back. This will be super quick. I'm gonna grab my phone though. am back. Give me a minute. Give me a second, guys. I'm looking for something here before I bury everything. Oh. I didn't even know that was in here. Looking for a cable for something. Give me a second. I gotta look at my suitcase. Oh, whoops. At the freaking bottom. Shit. Shit. Ah, what the hell? Hold on, folks. I apologize. Just 1 minute. Found $1. Found $1 bill. That's kind of cool. moves so much. Oh, I found it. Last place you ever look, ain't it? Jesus. All right, I found what I was looking for.
Connect 21's and out WH. That is 21 en route WH 1825.
Well, folks, I'm probably going to actually start wrapping this up because I think I'm going to grab something to eat over here real quick. I'm going to wrap this up as we head out of town. If I see somebody stuck, though, I'll stop. But, I mean, that was it. That was it. That was everything. So I appreciate everybody who's rode along for the coverage. I will live stream some of the drive out of here like tomorrow and stuff though, for funsies. Now, I was looking for something I need to plug the phone in here to keep it streaming before one of the batteries on something dies, but it's I found the cable, but I can't find the extra battery, so I'm kind of running out of juice here to be able to do this unless I stop and cobble something together, so. But thank you everybody for following along and everything. I'm gonna have I've got some more stuff I'll be posting to Facebook here soon. But I'm gonna go see what I can get figured out here. So we'll kind of just wrap this up. But you guys got to see the important part. The road got opened, you know, and we got to check on that. So. But a very big, sincere thank you to all of our supporters. I know we've gotten lots of super chats and stuff like that, and PayPal and everything. I have to get a minute to go through that stuff and respond to all of it, and I will. I appreciate it, everyone, for helping us do what we need to do out here. All right, folks, thanks again. I'll be live with an update, either maybe late tonight with looking at the severe weather, or tomorrow. So regardless, I'll be seeing you guys here pretty soon. So.